guess we left off, man, with my grandfather passing. And after that, his brother passed right behind him. And that was the man that owned the building me and my mother was staying in. So after that, everything went downhill. You know what I'm saying? My mom lost her mind from losing her father. She started drinking real heavy, drugs real heavy. You know what I mean? And she started venturing out because her father took care of her whole life. Gave her anything she wanted. She never really had to work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong, she did when she was younger. She worked her ass off. But as she got older, you know, and her back started hurting and things started falling apart, she needed help. You know what I'm saying? And my grandfather used to be that guy. You know what I mean? So when he passed, it was like a whole world crashed. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going back and forth to Elizabeth, Newark, Irvington, all that, my whole life. You know what I'm saying? That's where we went and shopped. That's where we went and ate. That's where we went and hung out. But what I learned real fast was after we lost my grandfather and we lost the place we were staying in and nobody really cared. The electricity was shut off. The heat was shut off. Everything. My mother was running around out in Elizabeth. I'm stuck in this apartment. No lights, no heat, no nothing. I'm grinding on my own. You understand? So, I already knew the shit. I knew what was going on. But it came to a point where they were going to come and clear us out the apartment. So, I packed a bag of clothes and I left. And we literally lost everything, man. We lost photo albums, pictures, baby clothes, everything. Anything you could think of, we lost. It was gone. Like we never had it. Honestly, that's why I have a lot of trouble today, man. Because we lost all them things. Like, it's hard to remember who you are and where you came from when you don't have nothing to remind you. You know what I'm saying? And it's even like that with the street shit now because everything's changed so much. I went away for 10 years. I came home. Nothing's the same. So it's like hard to kind of like put your life in a perspective when you don't have anything to go back and look at. You know, it leaves you kind of lost and confused sometimes. That's when reality and real life kicked in, because when I was a teenager, you know what I'm saying, and I was seeing all this stuff going on, we always had a place to live. You know what I'm saying? My mother always loved me, made sure, you know what I'm saying, she could do what she could do for me, but I never really thought about it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care. I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you're a kid, you don't really care. You do what you want to do and the consequences or whatever. So that's how I lived most of my life because, you know what I'm saying, like, my mother was doing the same shit. So I wasn't getting grounded or punished for being in trouble or none of that shit. You know what I mean? Half the time I was looking for her. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't looking for me. I was looking for my mother. You know what I mean? Running around out in the street and all that. So when we lost the apartment, we were kind of forced back out into the only other world we knew, which was Elizabeth, Newark, Irvington, you know what I mean? Cities like that. And one of my first introductions of actually living in the city, living in Elizabeth, and I don't mean with an address, I mean on the street. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't had nowhere to go. We lost everything. We had what was on our backs and whatever we could carry in our backpacks. And my mother brought me out there, and we were standing on Broad Street, Broad and Grand. I don't know if any of you know, there used to be the pizza store over there. It was a phone store on the corner. And now they changed it to something else. It was like a phone/jewelry store. Now it's something else. I don't know. But they had the halal pizza shop right on that block. So my mother brings me out there. She's introducing me to people, you know what I'm saying? Because she want people to look out for me because we're going to be out here now. You know what I'm saying? We out here 24 hours, 7 days a week, homeless. You know what I'm saying? So the people that we fuck with, people that you know, because back then, everybody was on the street. It's not like now when you walk through and everything's quiet. You know what I'm saying? Back then, everybody was outside. Everybody was outside. Elizabeth was turned out. So, one of my first experiences, I'm on Broad and Grand. My mother introducing me to a couple people. And these two dudes are arguing like maybe couple feet down from us. You know what I'm saying? So they arguing about drugs or something. And you know, I'm kind of watching them, but I'm, you know, introducing myself. And the next thing I know, this guy, one of the dudes grabs the other guy and just starts hitting him. Bang, bang, bang. Stabbed him up. Right on Broad Street. The guy was leaking like a fish. Right on Broad Street. poked them all up, bang, 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 and walked away like it was nothing, just mixed into the crowd. That's how it was back then. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of my first experiences to what living on the street was going to be like. Because before, you know, I thought I was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because I was out there hanging out, sliding through, doing this, that, and the third. But it's a big difference when you're not sliding through and you actually got to live out there and survive around these kind of people. Because those are the kind of people that were out there back then. It was hardcore drug addicts, real drug dealers, gangsters, you know, killers. Like, they were walking around like it was nothing. We were all out there wilding. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of my first introductions to what this street life was going to be like. I seen a man. I don't even know if he died or not, because we all left. Everybody left. Went their own separate ways. I mean, of course, everybody heard stories. He died out. The ambulance came and got him. No, I don't even know. But that was one of my first introductions to what being on the street was going to be like. So, after that, my mother kind of pulled me to the side, sat me down, you know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I'm 16 years old. You know what I mean? 17 years old. Like, I'm grown, but I'm not grown. You know what I'm saying? And now, everything that I thought was real, man, it didn't even come close to what I had just seen. You understand? So my mother's breaking it all down to me like, look, this is what it's going to be like from now on. This is how, you know, we don't have anything else. We don't have nobody. Nobody's going to help us. Nobody cares. And she broke it all down to me. You know what I'm saying? Like what she was doing before I even realized all this stuff. You know what I mean? She was out there and she was working jobs. You know what I'm saying? She was setting up tricks and shit. She had, you know, friends of hers that would, you know, line these jobs. So, of course, now I'm out there with her. So me and her like this. You know what I'm saying? That's my right hand. I'm her right hand. It is what it is. We don't need no third party. So she schooled me on how to rob these Johns and shit. You know what I'm saying? We set them up. Line them up. I'm all right. He gonna come pick me up. I'm gonna bring him to this parking lot over here. Boom. And then I'm gonna slide up in the parking lot, tell her keep the doors open. I'm gonna bust the door. And I'm gonna rob him. I'm gonna put the gun to his head and let him know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I would act like she was the victim too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rob her, take her shit. Boom. And then haul ass. And then, you know what I'm saying? She would meet me somewhere. Boom. And that's how it went for a long time. Like, she schooled me to a lot of different tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was a booster. I never really panhandled no shit like that. Like, it just wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? We got money how we got it. But I followed behind my mother. You understand? And I didn't know a lot of the shit that she was into. You know what I'm saying? Until I really got out there myself. Like, while I was staying in Cranford at her apartment and she was going out to Elizabeth doing all this shit, I didn't really know. You know what I'm saying? I knew that she was getting high. I knew she was using drugs, but I didn't know what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? So when I got out there, this is like all in my first couple of days of being out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I seen dude get stabbed up. My mother's breaking all this shit down to me. I catch my first robbery. You know what I'm saying? And everything started clicking like, man, life's not as simple as I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Because there is, man. There's a big difference when you slide through and cop your drugs and go back home and whatever the case may be, compared to actually having to live that life 24 hours, 7 days a week. Like, you know, that's where the drugs and everything came in play too. Because I couldn't, 90% of the people out there couldn't face themselves and live that life without getting high. There was just so much going on back then. 1 and 9 was turned out. You know what I'm saying? Back in the you know, 90s, early 2000s. Like, the whole highway was nothing but tricks. You know what I'm saying? Girls working. You know what I'm saying? You know, myself, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple girlfriends that was out there working. Like, that's just how it was. You feel me? And it kind of makes your heart cold, man. It kind of turns off any light that you have inside of you. You know what I mean? Because, like, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? How do you do that? How do you push a girl out into the streets to get money for you? You know what I'm saying? But that's what it was back then. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't rob people every single day. Like, let's get real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be certain times I fell back and somebody else would kick up. You know what I'm saying? And I learned all this from my mom. She schooled me to all this shit where, like, yo, you know what I mean? You got to find you a, and make it do what it do. So, like I said, man, I went from thinking I knew a lot of shit to understanding I didn't know nothing. You know? And this story gets real deep, and we're going to talk about it, man. Since this is a prison channel, we're going to talk about the first time I got bagged. Now, mind you, I had already got locked up as a juvenile, this, that, and the third, whatever. But as soon as I turned 18, from being out on them streets every day, because we was out there every day, 24 hours a day, we was on them blocks, whether it was Catherine, Magnolia, Anna, Emma, Broad Street, East Grand, West Grand, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was out there. And 90% of the people knew me and my mother. You know what I'm saying? If they knew me, they knew my moms. If they knew my moms, they knew me because they knew we came like that. You know? But yeah. So I forget what happened. I think I had a court date or something, right? And I missed court, so they put a sheriff's, a warrant out for me, a sheriff's warrant out for me. And I'm chilling. I'm standing on the block, and they got these warrant boys, these jump out boys that ride. I'm pretty sure they still do. But back then, they had these jump out boys. They ride like 3-4 deep, and they just have a book of pictures, and they drive around looking for people jumping out. So I'm standing by the train station in front of the bar that used to be across the street from the train station. I think it's like a little deli, a diner now or something, but it used to be a bar there. So I peep them make the turn and start to come up under the bridge. So I can't really turn around and walk up the other way because that's the way they're going. So I try to turn it and walk, straight past the car because there's no way for them to turn around right there. You know what I mean? At that little turn on West Grand and Broad, there's no way really for them to turn around, especially when there's traffic there. So I walked past, but they didn't even try to like bring the car around, nothing. All 4 of them hopped out. So I run through the bar, boom. I go through the back door. There used to be a gate back there in a hole. You can get through the hole and end up over by what the fuck is that big shopping store? Not Stop and Shop. Shoppers World. It would bring you over there to the back of their building. Man, them cops were already behind the gate. They were coming up that alley. I had nowhere to go. So long story short, they ended up bagging me. Right? I go to the county. I'm 18 years old. It's my first introduction to the county. So they bagged me on some bullshit, warrant, whatever. I had some drugs on me, so of course I caught the drug charge too. And they bring me to the county. They bring me right to the county. I didn't even go to the precinct. I went right to the county. So I'm in there. I go through the process where they pull in, the doors closed, double doors closed. There's no way out. You got to go in, strip down, get searched, all that. I'm pretty sure I told you guys about this before. You get your little, dirty-ass bologna sandwich, a couple cookies and a fruit or a juice. You take your shower, you get your clothes, your sheets, your blankets, all that stuff, and you go upstairs to 4B. 4B is reception. That's basically quarantine for the guys that are coming in kicking, the guy, for anybody. Because first of all, you got to get your TB tests and all that shit. So you got to get clear for everything. You know what I mean? But a lot of guys go in there for being there kicking. You know what I mean? That's their little recovery time before they get sent upstairs. So you got to be on point. You know what I'm saying? I was never one of them ones to go into jail and be curled up on the bunk crying. You know what I'm saying? It was completely different from being on the streets. Like if I was on the streets and I got sick, I woke up, I didn't have nothing, somebody was getting robbed. Or, we was going to get money somehow. You understand? To get better. Like, in the county is different. Like, once you locked in that cage, you can't have this shit no more. You're not getting it. So for me, it was a little easier. You know what I'm saying? Because mentally, I knew that there's no way. And me acting like a fiend and trying to get it and shit, like that's just going to make me look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I was never like that. You know what I'm saying? I always try to dress. I always had new Timbs on. Like, I always try to say crisp. You know what I'm saying? But I was using that a mile a minute. You know what I'm saying? I was shooting like a brick of dope a day. You understand? So I said that just to say, like, it's different when you kick outside than when you kick inside the county. So, long story short, I'm on 4B. That's reception. I'm sitting up there for about a week and a half. And then they send me upstairs. You go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, wherever they're going to put you, depending on what your charges was. I went to the 10th floor because that was a sheriff's warrant for some dumb shit. So I'm up on the sentencing tier, which is 9 and 10. 18 years old. I mean, this guy's going down for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surrounded by these guys, but I know them all because we're all from the same hood. Back then, like, everybody knew everybody. I don't know. It was different. Now, like, it's like hoods and sets know each other. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it was like if you from the city, you had to know somebody. You had to know somebody in there. You know what I'm saying? And that was my first introduction to the streets. Like, real live street shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I grew up watching, you know, the drug addicts and the drug dealers and all this shit in my house. But I didn't really know what was going on because I was still being a kid. You know what I'm saying? I'm still hanging out with my friends, smoking weed, you know, going through the hoods and shit like it was a game. And when my grandfather passed and we lost that apartment and ended up in Elizabeth, that was my introduction to the streets. You know? So, it's part of who I am. You know what I mean? But in a way, it's not. Because all that stuff that I went through actually covered up who I really was. You know what I'm saying? Or who I was supposed to be. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you're supposed to be something, man. You're supposed to have, like, goals. You know, people are supposed to want better for you. They're supposed to plan for you. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like everybody in my family always expected me to have my life planned out when I didn't know shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, why my father cut me off. They didn't want to have nothing to do with me. You know, and I was stuck with the choice I made to go back to my mother because I could feel my mom's heart breaking in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And I knew if I didn't go there, she probably would have died a lot sooner than she did. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, man. But, you know, it's all connected, man. Like I said, my last 2 videos must have went over your head, but it's all connected, man. The music, the streets, the violence, everything is connected. And I knew them videos was too deep for you, so I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't regret posting them, but I you know, when it comes to conspiracy theories and shit like that, from being away, like, I can open my mind to see the bigger picture now. Because I had time to research and read a lot while I was away. So now, like, I don't just look at things simple like, oh, that's what it is and it is what it is. Nah, man, there's always a bigger picture. There's always a reason to why shit is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people look at me like, bro, you could be doing so much more. But at the end of the day, you don't know what I'm going through mentally. You know what I'm saying? Which is why these videos come in like spurts. I put them out and then I won't put out for a while. Because my mind be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, this video is just the introduction to what the street life was like for me. We're going to have episode 4 coming up. This is episode 3 right here. And we're going to really talk about it, man. The drugs, the gangs, the violence, everything that I was sucked into because of the lifestyle, man. Because we were poor, because we didn't have money. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared. Wait till I get to the welfare stories and trying to get help and trying to get housing. My mother was on a housing list for over 10 years while we were in them streets. Real Talk TV, your boy Looney Tunes, man, a.k.a. Twin, a.k.a. my brother's keeper. Salute to all the Real Talk family. Cash App link is in the description below. Thank you guys for supporting the movement. This is not a business. This is a movement, man. Real shit. I got merch coming. I got things coming to promote the channel and push the love. And I hope all you guys, you know what I'm saying, put your orders in and grab you a sweatshirt or a thermal or something. But at the end of the day, man, it's not a business. It's a movement, man. And everything that I get from the family and from the people, I put to good use, man. Whether it's for making the channel better or running donations down to the clothing thing or handing out food where I'm at now once a month. It all goes to helping people that was in the same situation I was in. You know what I'm saying? I did 10 years. I came home. And I'm blessed to be in the situation I am right now. But there's a lot of people that's not. And with the holidays coming up and everything, man, just just be mindful of what you could do to maybe help somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't take the donations and stick them in my pocket. I use them for good shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Your boy Looney Tunes. Thanks for watching.